Have you ever met someone who just has this undeniable presence? That it factor that just pulls you in? Well, today, we're going to deconstruct exactly what that is by digging into a really fascinating script. We're going to treat it like it's a piece of software, like a program for the mind, and we'll break down its architecture, piece by piece, just to see how it's designed to work.
So the whole idea here is that you can actually script your own inner world, kind of like how a developer writes code. In this particular script we're looking at, it's designed to build what the source material calls magnetic presence. It all starts with a series of commands to get the whole system ready to run. So the very first line of code is this super clear command, initialize subconscious_mind. This is like the boot up sequence. It tells the program exactly where it needs to be installed. And this is so important because your conscious mind, right, the critical part of you, it might fight back against these big declarations. But the subconscious? It's way more open to taking direct commands. Okay, so once the system is initialized, it gets its main directive, activate infinite_connection. This really sets the primary goal for the whole program. It's not just about changing yourself in a vacuum. It's about creating this powerful resonant link with the world, and, as we're about to see, with another person.
All right, so here's our game plan for breaking this whole thing down. We're going to start with the overall structure, the program itself. Then, we'll dive into how it sets that core emotional vibration. After that, we'll look at the two main subroutines, one for building up your self-concept and one for projecting your influence. And then finally, we'll see the instructions for how you're supposed to run the whole thing.
So first up, a program for presence. Let's really get a handle on the foundational architecture that everything else is going to be built on top of. All right, let's move on to section 2, setting the vibration. See, before the main code can even execute, the program needs a specific environmental variable to be set. The source calls this vibration, and it's basically the foundational emotional state you need to have for the script to work at all. And check this out, here's the formula. According to the source, this vibration isn't just some vague, fuzzy feeling. No, it's a very precise combination of 4 things: love, magnetism, certainty, and confidence. It's this specific emotional cocktail that's supposed to create that magnetic quality the program is aiming for. Okay, now we're getting to the first of 2 really big subroutines. And what's so fascinating is that before this program even tries to influence anyone or anything on the outside, its entire focus turns inward. This whole section is about building the user's internal self-concept into something that is just completely unshakable. This is a classic psychological technique. These aren't just happy thoughts. They're powerful declarations designed to literally overwrite any self-doubt you might have and install this new, foundational belief in your own value. And then, you see how the script just kicks it up a notch? It's not, I am a good connection. No, it's, I am a once-in-a-lifetime connection. The intensity is deliberately dialed way up to install this belief that you are totally exceptional.
And right after that, we get this even more direct, more powerful command, I am irreplaceable. There's just no room for doubt here. This is a hard-coded belief statement that's meant to completely wipe out any sense of competition from your mindset.
And this right here, this is the final statement that completes the internal build. This entire subroutine is designed to make sure the user's internal operating system is totally stable and secure before it even thinks about connecting to an external network.
Okay, section 4, projecting the influence. So with that internal foundation totally solid, the program's logic now flips. It shifts outward, and it starts to target what the source calls a specific person.
So this is the very first line of that external subroutine. It's declaring an effect on someone else's behavior, but it frames it as this natural, totally effortless thing. That magnetic presence we just built, now it's being put to work, designed to just draw someone in.
What's really wild about this part is just how assertive these commands are. The script doesn't say, I hope they like me. It declares what the target's internal state is. It's basically trying to rewrite their emotional landscape. Kind of makes you wonder, right? Can that even work?
And this next part shows you just how big the scope of this influence is supposed to be. The program is designed to insert your presence into the target's entire world, making their environment itself a trigger, where everything they see and hear reminds them of you. So after setting up this constant mental and environmental presence, the script moves towards a very specific call to action. It's implanting this trio of desires inside the target, to speak, to connect, and to be close, basically prompting them to be the one to reach out. And then the whole subroutine wraps up with these 3 powerful confirmations. But notice the shift. It's back to I am. After projecting all that influence outward, the script brings it right back to the user's reality. This acts like a confirmation, saying the program ran successfully and the result is now a fact.
So we've seen the code, we've broken it down, but how do you actually run it? Well, this final section gives us really clear instructions for execution to make sure the programming actually sticks.
The final commands? They're super simple, really direct, just a 3-step process. First, you repeat the whole sequence. Second, you confirm that your subconscious has accepted these new commands. And third, you activate the results in your life. It's a loop, and it's all about reinforcement.
And the script is very, very specific about this repetition. It says to repeat it daily for 28 cycles. Now that number probably isn't random. It lines up pretty well with principles of habit formation. The idea is to deeply embed this new programming into your subconscious. And there you have it. That is the complete architecture. It's a program designed to initialize the mind, set a core vibration, build up the self, project influence, and then it gives you a clear plan to execute the whole thing.
It's a really fascinating design, right? Whether you look at it as a psychological tool or something more spiritual. And it leaves us with one final big question to think about. If this is one possible architecture for presence, what's the architecture of your own? What scripts are you running right now?